to watching some basketball, but spring training, this team, a lot of change, a lot of positional battles, competition. There's a lot of storylines to be watching this spring at Camelback Ranch, CBR, as we call it in the biz. 3 storylines that you and I guess, all of us, what are 3 storylines? Do we want to do like one each? Is that a thing? I don't know. What do you guys, how do you want to do it?
What are you guys
We
going to do?
didn't get to the part where we actually figured this out, if we're doing one each or 3 each. Or
I got a few here, but I'm pretty sure they're pretty. You probably agree with a lot of them. I think the first one I have is who will win the starting center fielder job, especially coming off the David Peralta signing. You've got a lot of names in the mix. Dave, a few days ago, basically sounded like it was wide open. I think with the signing of Peralta, that kind of shifts that competition with you have will Chris Taylor be in a great spot to play center field? To me, for a guy that's trying to figure out his offense and get his swing back on track, I think the answer is no. I'd probably rather see him in left field. Trayce Thompson, to me, is the biggest question because he did play in all 4 of the Dodgers NLDS games, but he ends up going 2 for 13, 3 walks, had 6 strikeouts. Will he regress? Because his numbers, pretty much every single number points to him turning into a pumpkin in the clock striking midnight on that Cinderella man. Because a 621 OPS versus lefties, he was supposed to be a lefty killer, has a 621 OPS versus outpaws, and against righties has the OPS over 1,000. He hit the ball hard. He punished mistakes, but is he truly a regular Major League Baseball player? That is something that is one of my big questions. And then you talk about Jason Hayward, a guy that Freddie Freeman had a big role in bringing to this team. They're locker room mates. Is he going to get an opportunity to play, or is he just going to be a bench guy that kind of makes the team? You have Bradley Zimmer, you have Steven Duggar, and then, of course, you have James Outman. And
we can see any of those other 2 dudes.
Yeah. I mean, it's just funny to think that about how this is truly a wide open competition. I think it's pretty clear at this point. Trayce Thompson is going to get the opportunity to start things, see if he can pick up to where he left off. If he can't handle the job, then you look elsewhere as to a Chris Taylor. But I think you'd rather have platoon Chris Taylor and Peralta in left field. And I think I'm hoping that James Outman gets an opportunity. I really do. I think has nothing to prove at the minor league level. He's shown that in those 4 games in the show that he was able to hit big league pitching. The only issue is, can he hit lefties? But we're not going to know if he can do that unless he gets more opportunities. So this trade really, this signing of Peralta really indicated to me that they're not as high on Outman as a lot of Dodger fans are.
Yeah, no, that's a good point there. Centerfield absolutely is one of the biggest storylines for this spring training. I think ultimately what the opening day roster looks like is not going to matter in the grand scheme of things because I'd put it 50-50 chance right now that the Dodgers trade for Brian Reynolds at the deadline or something like that. If it don't work out, Andrew Freeman's ready to go make a deal. Hey, maybe they go trade for a rejuvenated Cody Bellinger back from the Cubs. One of the best teams we ever saw in this generation was the 2017 Dodgers, and that team had Chris Taylor as their starting center fielder. I would not be surprised to see at this point if up the middle on the infield can handle what this team wants him to handle. Like before the Miggy Rowe trade, Miguel Rojas, if you don't know him, before that Rojas trade, CT was getting a lot of time at second base. Now they want him to stay as a for sure outfielder. That's just my opinion on it. I do think he takes over, and I do think you're going to see Jason Hayward on this team because it feels to me like they were really going for a certain type of character this offseason to put in that clubhouse. If they are going to change, they're going to make as big of a change as they did, not bringing back JT, not mainly the JT thing, just that kind of drastic change. They wanted a significantly different feel in the clubhouse, and that's where you see Peralta, but you see JD Martinez and all that kind of stuff.